What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. We're still doing 3 videos a week right now, so we don't want you to miss out on any of those future videos. Okay, today we are talking about football jigs, and really the topic on football jigs is, are you choosing the right trailer for your football jig? So we're going to kind of dive in and walk you through the whole setup as far as football jig fishing and the trailers that I like to throw on the back of my football jig, because the trailer that you choose can really impact the action that you're getting out of the bait, and depending on how you're working it, you may want to choose a different trailer. So make sure you stay tuned, and hopefully you guys can learn something from this video and apply it to your football jig fishing or jig fishing in general and help you catch a few more bass. So if you guys are ready, let's jump in and let's talk about some jig trailers. Okay, so like I said, jig trailers are something that can be so simple, but yet very complex as well. You know, there's a lot of little nuances in choosing the correct jig trailer to maximize the action that you're looking for. So I would say, just right off the rip, the most standard style jig trailer that you're going to see across the board, not just for football jigs, is going to be more of your craw style profile. So this right here, this is the 3-inch Yama craw. You know, your Rage craws, your Yama craws, things like this that have flaps on the back that they kick as the bait's falling, as that bait's swimming. These tails back here are kicking and thumping and pulling a lot of water. I would say that's probably the most common type of trailer that you're gonna see on a football jig, is a craw style trailer like this. And this is something that I use a lot. You know, basically this is the 3-inch version, so it's already a small profile, but I actually like to take and cut a little bit off the top, just mainly so I get a flat surface right there. When I get that flat surface, it allows me to super glue it to the top of the jig as you slide them up the shank, and it gives that flat surface a place to grip. You know, the more surface area that you have super glue on, the better it's gonna hold. So this is just an Epic Baits football jig right here, and we're gonna take this little Yama craw, I cut the head off, slide him up, and get that trailer on there. Now, I'm not going to use the super glue for this demonstration, but if I was going out and fishing him, I would be putting super glue on there right now before I slide it up over that barb all the way up to the surface. But there you go, he's tied on there now, and that right there is a perfect little compact football jig. That's really what I like about the Epic Baits football jig, is it's really small and compact. This is the peanut butter and jelly color. You see he actually has some Flashaboo mixed in with the skirt, so it's a really, really beautiful jig right there, to be honest with you. I really like that jig right there. But you can see that craw type trailer on the back. Those tails are gonna kick and flap every time you move this bait, and it really puts a lot of action in. But in doing so, you know, in adding all of that action, what it does is actually slow down the fall. So as this bait is falling, those tails are kicking, and it's putting resistance or drag on that bait as he's falling down, so he's not falling as fast. So in certain situations, you may want a faster fall. You know, typically, you know, a football jig, you're fishing a couple different ways. You're either dragging it, and that's when this style trailer comes into play. You know, you're not really hopping it real fast. So that leads me into the second way that you're going to fish this, is more of a hop, or they call it stroking, of a football jig, where basically you let him onto the bottom and you're hopping him up real fast, and then you're letting him fall back down, and you're wanting that bait to fall very quick because you're looking for a reaction strike out of those fish. Whereas when you're dragging this bait slower, you want those claws just back there swimming, looking nice and delicious to the fish, looking good to the fish. Because it's a much slower drag, slower presentation, you're looking for that action at a slower speed. Whereas when you're hopping it, you want that bait to be moving really fast and still have that swimming action and not be slowed down by the claws. So when I find myself in that situation, I want to change up my trailer. So one of my favorite ways to still get some swimming action out of the bait, but not quite have that same drag, is to pull out this guy right here. So this is the twin tail grub. You can see he still has tails back here that are going to kick a little bit, but there's not as much resistance on these as the craw style trailer. You can see the flanges here have much more width on them rather than this thin plastic. So there's a lot less resistance on the twin tail grub. So you can just rig him up the same way. You know, he's already got a flat spot on the head, so I'm not gonna cut him off. He's got a thin style body, so there's, you know, less drag on the actual body of your trailer as well, less plastic there. But now we got him rigged up, and you can see these twin tails, they're still gonna be kicking, but it's gonna allow that bait to fall much faster. So when you're hopping him up and down, those twin tails just fall a lot quicker and don't add that extra resistance to the bait. So that's a quick little trailer tip right there on your football jigs. Really, this applies to all style jigs. And it's just a simple, quick little adjustment you can make to get the most out of your football jig when you are looking to really dial in that presentation and you know, just kind of dial in what exactly you're doing with that technique. You know, don't get me wrong, both of these trailers would work in any situation, but if you're really looking to dial in and maximize your opportunity to catch some fish, this little trailer hack right here can help you catch a few more bass. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Always make sure you drop it in the comments. I want to know what you guys like using for your trailers, what you think of this little tip. Hopefully you guys learned something, like I said, and you can apply this to your fishing and get out there and catch some more bass. That's what this channel is all about. So hopefully we can continue to do that for you guys. So appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, leave me those likes and comments and good stuff down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.